History in New York City tonight as Zoran Mamdani, a 34-year-old Democratic socialist, has defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo to become the city's next mayor. This is an election that has garnered interest and attention, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vijay Srinivas. We're joined by a top columnist and author, Seema Sirohi, all the way from the United States to decode the results further. Thank you very much indeed for your time, ma'am. This is the first time that New York City has, where there's been 2 million votes have been cast. It's historic, the numbers say. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's the highest turnout so far, people are saying. There's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of mobilization of the voters, especially by the Mamdani campaign, because for the last 6-8 months, they have been at it, and they have thousands of volunteers who've been going door to door. Andrew Cuomo, who lost the primary to Mamdani for the Democratic Party nomination, he's running as an independent. So he got kind of a late start. His campaign was a bit slow and lackluster, but towards the end, he seemed to catch fire, and in the second debate, he did very well. So we don't know who's going to win. It could be a close race, because towards the last leg of the campaign, in the last few days, Cuomo reduced the lead by, it was a 20-point gap. He reduced it to 10 points.
I think, the New Yorkers felt unusually sort of invested this time in the elections, considering the voter turnout numbers. What does that tell us about the public mood this time?
Well, the issues are important that Mamdani raised, and he seemed to speak to the young voters especially. He raised the issue of affordability. New York City has become very expensive to live in. There's not enough housing, and not enough affordable housing, shall we say. So he promised to make more buildings, more housing projects, and to give free bus rides, free childcare. So he promised a lot of freebies, but we don't know how he plans to finance all that. So that's the big question. New York City is not just any city. It's like a state within a state. It's a large city, 7 million people. It's got a budget of $110 billion. So it's not a joke to run the city. It has 300,000 municipal workers in the government. So a man like Mamdani, who has very little experience, that's the big issue against him. That's what Cuomo has raised, that he's going to learn on the job. New York City cannot afford that. To have a mayor who's got socialist leanings, where he wants to finance everything with taxpayers' money, how is he going to do that? Because many of the rich New Yorkers either have left for Florida and Texas already. And the middle-class New Yorkers, a lot of them left for neighboring states during COVID, because it became just, New York was a horrible situation in New York during COVID, for which Cuomo kind of gets the blame, because he was in charge at that time. Mm-hmm. So it's a very complex set of issues right now. So by appealing to young voters and giving kind of an optimistic picture, Mamdani has resonated. He also has appealed to a lot of immigrants, especially Muslim immigrants. Many of his voters are either white liberals, young white liberals, or immigrant voters, first time, fresh immigrants who have recently become naturalized or something like that. So he has a lot of support among Bangladeshis and among Arabs and things like that.
Is this outcome more of a local story, or does it reflect broader national undercurrents in American urban politics?
It is not just a local story. I would argue it's a national and even an international story, because the victory of Mamdani shows that the left wing of the Democratic Party is ascendant, meaning, there's a struggle going on within the party. It's like a civil war between centrist Democrats and left-wing Democrats like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, she's known as. She's from New York. She's a New York congresswoman. Then Bernie Sanders, people like that. So the struggle is quite intense. The establishment Democrats and centrist Democrats do not agree that this extreme left socialist positions are the answer to their troubles. So, what it might do is middle of the road Americans and the rest of the United States might shift to the Republican Party, because the Republicans will obviously put Mamdani's face on the Democratic Party now. And he's said some pretty radical things in the past, Mamdani, that is. Intifada, defund the police and whatnot. He's pretty on the fringe, on many issues. The rest of the country is not there. So it will be very interesting to watch where the Democratic Party goes and how it resolves the dilemma. Now, his victory will embolden the left wing of the party, and it's going to put the centrist Democrats on the defensive. So it doesn't mean that the left wing has won. No, because a very centrist Democrat won in Virginia, which is next to the Washington, D.C. She is Abigail Spamberger. She has become the governor. So she's pretty centrist. And the New Jersey race also, the governor is quite centrist compared to Mamdani. It'll all depend on how Mamdani runs the city. If he is successful in getting it financially in order, right now there's a budget shortfall in New York City. So Donald Trump, if you know that, like, he controls the federal money that comes to the city. He's already threatened, I'm not going to release the money. So how is Mamdani going to deal with that? He can't be on the offensive when the purse strings are with the president of the United States or the governor of New York. And so it's going to be a tussle.
Okay, so New York has long been the capital of global capitalism. What does it say about the city's evolution that a democratic socialist is now a mayor? Isn't that interesting?
It is very interesting that the citadel of capitalism is elected a socialist mayor. I mean, it tells you where the politics are going in this country. Perhaps it tells you something about distribution of wealth. The rich are very rich and the poor are getting poorer. And healthcare is in crisis. All of the social services are in crisis. So people are floundering for answers. And Mamdani has given them some hope on that account. So it's an evolution that's taking place. If, China is becoming maybe more capitalist, America might becoming more socialist.
Okay. And this is also the first elections after Donald Trump becoming the president of the United States. There's also, in a way, a test for the Republican Party as well. They seem to have lost the election that has happened today in the United States. What is this? Can we say that, or is it jumping the gun? Can we say that Donald Trump is sort of in a way losing his fizz somewhere? Because he extended his support for Andrew Cuomo, but that's not really happening.
Right. Well, his popularity is down. So, and inflation is stayed stuck at the same place, 3%, when he came to power. And now. So he hasn't been able to make a dent in inflation. So that's a problem. Plus, his tariff wars have created a lot of uncertainty in the markets as well as for various exporters and farmers and other constituencies. So he has about a year to fix that before the midterm elections. Um, but his support within the hardcore base, which is the MAGA base, the Make America Great people, those people, the support is still strong. So
Okay. Yeah. You are an Indian American, and does this election result sort of surprise you?
no, I'm not surprised. Um, because he did a good campaign. His campaign was very energetic. He did all these videos, he spoke in many languages, etc. So he ran a successful campaign. What worries me is the overemphasis on his religious identity. I'm not comfortable with that. uh, I'm a non-believer. I'm not particularly, temple-going Hindu or anything like that. Um, so it bothers me that, he talked a lot about being Muslim. It was as if he was campaigning as if New York is a Muslim city. It's not. It's the most liberal place in the whole of the United States, So for him to claim that Muslims are not able to express themselves, I didn't buy that at all. I don't agree with it at all. So he just created a kind of an image. I was not comfortable with that.
This is just for our viewers, for the merits of our viewers. What do you think is the major takeaway from these elections today?
That the Democratic Party has to get its act together. It has to give a unified uh, message to the people, to the voters, and it cannot be just an anti-Trump party. The election plank cannot be that Trump is so awful. Well, that's not working. They have to give answers to the rest of their constituents as to what the program is, what do they plan to do. So I think some of them are talking about that, but not enough. They are floundering. The Democrats are floundering. There is no question about it.
One last question there. What's the biggest challenge that the new mayor will face on day one?
Free bus rides. How is he going to do that? Free
Okay.
or government run grocery stores. How is he magically going to produce the money for it? He hasn't thought through all these things. Plus,
Okay.
his supporters uh, have been on Twitter very clearly saying that if he doesn't follow the program, they are going to, throw him out. So these are the various NGOs, mostly uh, Arab Americans, Muslim American NGOs, who have financed the campaign to a large degree, apart from other NGOs. So they are pretty adamant, So groups like CARE, that you can, it's a controversial group, but it has a lot of money. It's behind Mamdani's campaign. It has links to some extremist organizations in the Middle East. Um, Things the FBI has investigated them in the past, stuff like that. So he's on a short leash because they financed his campaign. So he's going to have to deliver.
Thank you very much, Ms. Seema Sirohi. Such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.